Yeah, I wanted to jump into the first thing, which is obviously the Brooklyn Nets, right? I mean, the Brooklyn Nets are looking like they're for real. Small sample size again, right? Small sample size. First two games, they basically blow out their opponents, right? Even just watching the preseason, you're like, all right, it's preseason. I don't want to, hold too much weight on it, but the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant, looking real good right now. Durantula up in this bitch, and just watching the preseason, we just wanted to see how Kevin Durant looks like, and how can he use like quickness still, and blow past people. He can still blow past people. It's pretty good, because basically his dominant leg is the one that launches off still. He's not really relying on his left leg because the left leg is the Achilles injury, and basically he's looking good. It's looking real good, right? I mean, we didn't really know, the dynamics. We didn't really know the dynamics of how Kyrie and Kevin Durant look like, and now we're seeing, basically a sneak preview of what's to come, right? I mean, just watching, on Christmas, right? When they're playing against, Boston. And you're thinking, Boston, they're gonna be in the race for the Eastern Conference Finals, basically, right? So we want to see basically, how well are they gonna match up, and basically Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving smoked them, right? I mean, Kyrie, say what you will about the flat earther, but the man can ball, right? And Kyrie was lighting them up. I think he shot like seven threes the that game. He like tied the I think he tied the most threes made in like the Christmas game, something of that sort, right? I mean, just looking at the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, looking at the depth, the lineups they're running. They're looking pretty good, pretty good. I mean, they're I guess Kyrie Irving is not gonna be playing as you know the primary playmaker. It's gonna be Dinwiddie, so they're doing the 2 point guard lineup with Joe Harris as small forward, KD as power forward, and DeAndre Jordan's center, right? I mean, it's looking pretty good so far, right? With Spencer Dinwiddie's handling the playmaking, he doesn't really have to. Kyrie doesn't have to do too much playmaking. I mean, you see him just isoing. I mean, a lot of it's just ISO play. A lot of it's just ISO play, and you see, dude, these guys are elite shot makers for a reason, right? I mean, Kyrie Irving, he just, shimmying over, Marcus Smart. I mean, you see Kevin Durant, whoever's on him, basically just shimmies them, shoots over him. Too easy, right? I mean, he's just scoring with ease. He's still putting up 50% like field goal percentage, right? Crazy. And then, coming off the bench, you got Karis LeVert. You got Jared Allen. You got Torian Prince, right? I mean, their lineup. I mean, who else? Who is their point guard? Um, I'm drawing a blank. Their backup point guard. But basically, whoever's ball handling the bench was basically Karis LeVert. Um, you see Karis LeVert's shot creating abilities as well. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets, they can hurt you like from a lot of places, right? They should not trade for James Harden. Like I didn't believe they should trade James Harden to begin with, but what we're seeing right now is just like a little sneak preview of what can be. I mean, what the Nets are basically missing is another 3-and-D wing, and say what you will about Joe Harris. I mean, he's trying, right? He's trying, but you know I think one more person maybe if Trevor Ariza gets bought out or something like that, where he can go to the Brooklyn Nets and they can solidify their wing depth. That's where they can probably become a more trending towards a more elite defense, right? I mean, they're looking great so far in defense because a lot of people are trying. I mean, Kyrie Irving is trying on defense, right? Everyone has bought into their roles, it seems like. I mean, Steve Nash is playing around with the center position with DeAndre Jordan, Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen looking really good, right? So he's like, whoever's playing well is basically getting more of the minutes, right? I mean, Jarrett Allen's put up probably in those 2 games, he put up like 6 blocks, I think, right? And he was blocking everything, seems like. Caris LeVert, I mean, dude was lighting it up from 3. I mean, these guys, I don't know what to say, but Brooklyn looking pretty good, dude. Like, I mean, that's all you can say. Even though it's a small sample size, they're looking really good. And they were my pick before, basically playing a real game to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. And possibly, I think my pick was them to go to the finals, actually, right? Like, I was like, you know what? I'll go out on a limb. The Brooklyn Nets are going to the finals. And dude, they're looking like it, man. I mean, this is them not at their peak chemistry level, right? I mean, they're looking good. I see Kyrie Irving. I mean, Kyrie Irving is killing it right now. Offensively, he is killing it right now, right? Now, the main thing I would like to see the Nets do is, how do they overcome adversity, right? I mean, a lot of it's just them lighting, teams up offensively. We knew potentially, basically, what this team could do offensively, right? You got 2 players that can average basically 25 points, right? You got Spencer Dinwiddie, who averaged 20 points last season. You got Caris LeVert, right? He could average probably 20 points per game, right? Joe Harris shot like 43% from 3. I think he led like 3-point percentages, the 3-point field goal percentage like 2 years ago. And then the last year's like Steph Curry or something like that, right? Like, we know what these guys can do offensively. So, to see it actually take place is like, all right, these guys can light it up. But what's really surprising is the defense aspect, right? I mean, a lot of defense, like you didn't really think the defense would be clicking as much as it was, as they were doing basically as of now, right? I mean, they're looking really good. I mean, Kevin Durant on defense. I mean, you see him guarding, Jason Tatum, and he was moving really good. Post Achilles injury, he was moving good. So, if you have Kevin Durant in the backside to help, Jarrett Allen or DeAndre Jordan to help, once they funnel in, I guess whoever's driving in, the perimeter players funneling it to the bigs. And then, they can basically have them pass it out, certain stuff like that. They're looking really good on defense. And, with Mike D'Antoni and Steve Nash's offensive minds putting it together, dude, they're looking. I mean, what else can you say right now? They're looking pretty elite. And this is them, like, with not too many games being played. So, with more sample sizes, we'll see how they go from there. Where the adversity hits them, and then we'll see how they overcome it. How does Steve Nash basically regulate these egos and, people buying their roles and stuff like that. I mean, it looked like they're just set, like, all right, there's one goal in mind. Everyone is doing what their part to win the championship. And, dude, the Eastern Conference Finals, it's just looking like it's a race right now for, Brooklyn and to meet up with the Bucks, basically. I mean, that's just how I see it. And I'm taking the Nets to basically beat the Bucks, right? And then they're going to the finals. Whoever they meet in the West, it's probably, the Lakers. We'll see what happens with the Lakers and the Clippers. But I mean, Brooklyn looking for real.